Dopamine is a monoamine neurotransmitter, a term that refers to its chemical structure and the fact that it is derived from an amino acid.
Dopamine is also a catecholamine, a term that also refers to its chemical structure and the fact that it contains a catechol nucleus.
Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends.
Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends.
I'm in awe when I look at her direction, with her Android 18 expression, and that glorious walk that she has. It's irrefutable facts.
She bad.
Love to look at her from a distance. When I talk to her, I hope that she listens. Love the sight of her hair, it glistens. Looks like she luxury car whipping. Her foot has nothing less to say I'm Edelman. This isn't some lame game, I am peddling. This is just the power of beauty over man. Got me feeling high even when I'm sober, man. When she passing slow, I see an angel, no VS fashion show. My life is a movie, she's a part of it. She's in my brain, the pleasure part of it. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends.
Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends.
Her beauty's a symphony that needs an encore. The reason Neo wrote the independent song for. Her fragrance is Tom Ford. She wears a smile and a dress from the Saint Laurent store. I just wanna chat with her. She's not gonna be a flower that withers. Thought heaven was the only place I could find her. God took his time when he designed her. She makes me smile with a red blush. My version of a celeb crush. Make my heart race like an atleta. It beats like a mom's chancleta. She hotter than a Shore U rapper. When she in a business suit all dressed up, with a swag that just doesn't let up. Got me feeling like I just got a fresh cut. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends.
Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends. Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She activates my dopamine.
Dopamine, 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 dopamine. She really is like coke to fiends. Yeah, it's like I feel like I'm Doug Funny when he looks at Patty Mayonnaise. ZKO.